Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fielder Report. I'm Kathy Fielder and I'm here with the marvelous Tiffany Hendra. She is the founder of Sanctuary of Style and now CEO of the Coaching Sanctuary. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, so Sanctuary of Style was my YouTube channel and brand. I got to a point in LA where I was a TV host, but I wanted, you know, we all go on that search as a woman.
Right.
Our purpose, what you're doing here.
We're always looking for a purpose.
Yes.
That's a great thing I love about women is I feel like we always need a purpose.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and it's a different level.
Absolutely.
Even within our purpose, we up level. So I was always asked what makeup routine, workout routine, eating like all the things.
How do you have this amazing skin?
Well, Botox, it just kicked in right before this. I was like, oh wow, I woke up and it's like, it was a week ago. So glad to finally get the Botox.
Right, yes, there was a lot of maintenance needed.
Yes, a lot.
Yes.
I think that was my final check that off the list. I got my lash extension, so I was always asked these things, and I thought my love for working in front of the camera and my love for sharing all my secrets, I don't hold back.
Sure.
I'm an open book. So I started a YouTube channel back in the day, 10 years ago, when no one knew, it was just so young. And now over the years, as I've grown as a woman, and women on my YouTube channel saying, I want to hire you, can I pay you to help me be more confident and get focused and find my purpose? Right. So it graduated into a legit coaching practice called the Coaching Sanctuary. I love the word sanctuary, and yeah, so now I'm an actual business owner, and it started with that love, that simple love of helping women on video.
Well, and as you know, I'm a business owner. I've owned several since I was 23 years old, and it's very different to have a YouTube channel versus actually making it into a business. Yes. There's a whole different element.
Yes.
And sometimes when you own it in that manner, it gets a little bit mundane and boring because of all the details that go with that. So how do you keep it fresh, because once you own it, then you're totally responsible.
Yes, that's a great question because I have learned, and I follow Marie Forleo. She has a great YouTube channel. She's a business coach. And I heard her say one day, multi-passionate entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur forever. I was 14, I was an artist. I started doing actual sale signs in the windows for companies in my little small town. I was a graphic artist. I got an art scholarship to college. I was gonna move to New York and do that. But my love of travel and I was able to use modeling as a vehicle to get out. But so I always had this creativity, needing to be my own boss. I got a taste of that very young. Right. And then working with agents, even though they would negotiate my deals, I still was the product.
Absolutely.
And learn entrepreneurial skills. But yes, taking it and running a women's empowerment company now, the way I keep it fresh is going back to Marie Forleo saying, multi-passionate entrepreneur, meaning you can do all the things. And I think in my generation for so long, it was like, what is the saying? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Right.
Where I think is total BS at this point, for lack of a better term.
I think we're
do all the things
to be more and do more.
We are
and
expected to be more,
right?
Yes,
absolutely.
And so with everything that we've just gone through, more so than ever, ladies, the women that I coach, do all the things. If it lights you up, do it.
If it feels good and you're not hurting anybody, then you need to do what empowers you and makes you feel special and makes you feel alive.
Yes. And so the way I keep it fresh is exactly that, saying, okay, when I first started coaching and I was bleeding out to all my clients and I had this really heavy roster and I'm making money and this is great. I had to get coaching myself to learn how the business of coaching works.
Sure.
So I went through a year-long coaching program and realized that I didn't want to do it every single day. I wanted to have time to breathing space for my creativity. So if I was coaching Monday through Friday and then texting with clients on the weekend, where's my life?
Right, how do you fulfill your needs? Yeah, and so I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned through this experience and this path of COVID is that I never took care of me. I was always taking care of everyone, being a mom and a wife and all of these things, and I wasn't taking care of me ever. Right?
Big learning lesson because it all starts with you.
That's right. If I can't take care of me, then I certainly cannot take care of the people that I love and care about, right? And so that was one of the most one of my most grateful like experiences through COVID, when we were all sitting there terrified trying to figure out what's next, right? That was what I really took from that. What about you?
Well, where were you in that moment when you realized, you know what, I am, because I went through the similar thing, because I was giving out free calls, I was praying with women, I was holding space for women. Women needed support more than ever. Some of my clients were young single women that are at home in their apartment by themselves.
Right.
So I opened up my time, my free time, to give out free calls. I said, if you just need prayer, if you want guidance on pivoting your business, and a lot of women did just want somebody to talk to and just speak some life into them.
For sure.
So at the end of it, I was just like, oh my gosh, I am exhausted. Where am I in all of this? So where was it for you when you realized, you know what, this all is not going to work if I am depleted?
That's right. No, and it's not going to whenever you're at the breaking point. For me, it was whenever I imported masks, when nobody could get masks. And so I imported masks, and it was one of the hardest, most terrifying things I've ever done, because of just dealing with China and all the things that were going on. And lots of money laying there and all of these things that were just, you know, I wake up in a panic. And so I finally got those masks here. I got them delivered to hospitals and things like that. And I just was like,
your new level of purpose.
Yes,
but exhaustion.
Sure. But I was literally at a level of exhaustion that I have never been at before. And I said to myself, I need to just get whole. I've got to figure out. And I'm still working on that, right? It's a journey, but I have to say that I'm definitely more whole than I was. You know, before COVID, I was running around all the time, out at this, doing that, owning companies in different cities, right? And doing all of these things that I was just running like a tornado. And so,
were you not taking as much time? Look at me, I'm interviewing her now.
I know.
This is the way it works.
She's being my life.
So were you not spending as much time with the horses?
I haven't spent time with horses. I mean, I actually, when I imported the mask, did not see my horses for 6 weeks.
See? I'm telling you, this is
so
what
I was like, this isn't okay. And that was my bonding time with my daughter Isabella, right? That was our thing. And I had literally did not go out to the barn for 6 weeks. And so, and that is
I knew
kind of my
that was
safe spot. But no, I definitely, you know, I think that I'm so grateful that God said, look, you cannot keep going like this. You've got to come up with a better solution, and you've got to take care of you. And so that's what, you know, I started doing. And same for you. You took some time off?
Yes, I did. I got to July, and I literally, because we're not going to get on a plane and go on a trip, my husband also had to pivot. He's gotten a job, and we're doing all these different little jobs and side hustles. And I said, okay, Tiff, you know, coaching myself, look in the calendar and carve out a week to do a staycation, because I was serving on my Facebook group, my private Facebook group, and doing Monday motivation coaching sessions. I was doing my VIP high-end clients and all these Zoom trainings, teaching people how to do Zoom. And it was amazing. I'm so, again, grateful that my business already started online. Thank God.
Yes.
But exhausted, and I said, you have to look at the calendar, and you have to, what I did in July, I always love words of the month, and I said, I've got to get my joy, get re-anchored in joy. You can always feel joy, even in, it's different than happiness. Happy is like, oh, this is circumstantial, and I feel happy, and joy is like this underlying, this presence that you can tap into. And I was like, I've got to get re-anchored in joy this month, and take that staycation time where I do not see clients, and I told my clients, and they all were so gracious, and you know, I didn't get the texts and the 911 texts and things like that. So that's what I realized. I was like, my joy is wavering. I got to get my joy back.
Yeah, you know, you get to that place where you get a little angry, right?
And I was
kind of mad at the world.
I was.
But they're your choices. That's what you. That's
1,000%.
1,000% something that everyone needs to understand. You know, you are in the place that you are because of your choices, and so you've also got to make the choice to become better and more whole.
Well, it's our business. It's my business. So I tell my clients that, I'm like, if you're overwhelmed and you're doing too much, you're the one that controls your schedule. Because I work with a lot of entrepreneurial, mission-driven women. I'm like, I am an entrepreneur. One reason I need freedom. You know, and I did a TikTok about everyone's like, do your morning routine again. I've done it so many times. And this one woman, out of all these comments of, where'd you get the coffee mug? What kind of coffee? Where's your pajamas from? And all this, you know, leopard pajamas. And, you know, this one woman said, you must not work if I can go through this whole morning routine. And that one comment really struck me. And I commented back, and I said, I have created my life because my morning routine I need a lot of God, I need a lot of coffee, I need to work out, I need to spend time on me so that I can serve.
That's right.
And you know, I hope that I planted that seed with her. So why am I overloading my schedule when I'm the one that makes it? So
absolutely,
you know.
absolutely. But you know, the thing of it is that you did a great job with that. You turned kind of a not an
well, it was a coaching moment for me.
It's a teaching moment.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because
because you have to help. Not everybody understands. I mean, all the glamour, all of, you know, I've had someone say to me before, sitting with my daughter Isabella, "Gosh, your life is so glamorous." And she looked at the person and didn't know her well, and she goes, "If you followed her for a week, you would not think that was the case."
Absolutely.
Right? So, I mean, it all looks pretty, and it's all pretty pictures. That is one thing that I feel like we've all become a little bit more real. You know,
and I love that.
Has your style changed? Because I know mine's changed.
Well, this happened for me right after Real Housewives, because my Sanctuary of Style YouTube channel, I wanted it to be magazine. So if you go and look, we bought gear, we bought lights, I did the full-on HD makeup, I had cute outfits, I wanted it to be poppy. I wanted it to, when women came to it, was like 5 minutes of girl time, and it was like looking through a magazine. You know, I'm going to tell you the 5 sandals for spring and give you a motivational affirmation at the end. So after Real Housewives, which obviously is more glammed up, I started doing more coffee talks in the robe with no makeup, and I noticed that engagement was on a deeper level than on the YouTube channel.
Right.
And so I love seeing, you know, I went through that transformation in my brand and seeing other people do it. Now I got to a point where I was like, I'm so tired of everybody talking about the no makeup and showing up on their Facebook lives without makeup. And like, we all went through that phase of like, we're all, you know, our nails are falling off, you know, we can't get anything done. But it was like a shift. I was like, ladies, if you're going to get on and do this for business, brush your teeth and get the crusties out of your eyes, please.
You gotta get a little lip gloss on, something.
Something.
Right? Yes.
Hide the concealer. Pop a light. You know, I'm all about the light, so thank you for the light.
Yes, no, girl's best friend. So speaking of Real Housewives, that was probably a very, very different vibe, if you will.
Different's a good word.
Different. You know, from having Sanctuary of Style, which was really up and positive, which is how you are, right? Larger than life, full of life. Going to Real Housewives, it was a little bit more negative, I would assume, a little bit harder to navigate. Toxic. I was going to let you use your words.
Toxic, yeah.
And so, and now what's come out of that, though, is something I think pretty special. Empowering women around you.
Yes.
And helping them to feel better about themselves.
Yes. So, you know, when you are put in the contrast of something.
Right.
So we have mutual friends that were in LA at the time. We all had this spiritual group. So we had built this empowerment spiritual group. I was starting Sanctuary of Style. Then we moved to LA, we moved to Dallas quickly, and got thrown into this situation. Right. So the contrast of this life I had created, so much healing, so much work I'd done on myself, you know, all my drug party friends, the negative life that I had before, I had built this beautiful tribe of women, and then moved to Dallas, get thrown into this situation, which was just complete polar opposite.
Like, couldn't be more opposite.
So opposite. And what happened now I'm in such a place of gratitude for having that opportunity, but when I was in the midst of it and it brought up so much of the old behaviors, I started drinking again every day.
Right.
I got really, really sick, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Sure.
And I had done so much healing. I was like, what the heck?
Well,
you know
it's
what
draining.
I mean?
It's draining. I mean, I told you I've Skyped for Real Housewives a few times, a few years now, and it really, it's, you know, I think I'm so much like you. I'm positive, I'm happy, my glass is half full, and I knew deep down that that would not be, it would be a toxic situation.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you, because it's tempting, because it could be great for business.
Well, and I
have
have great boutiques that I could really promote, right? But I think it's more important for me just to be whole.
Well, and you have a beautiful young woman that you are a model for.
That's right.
So when you have children involved, I really, really admire women that can put that focus, because it is very, very difficult on marriages. I mean, we look at New York. I think everyone in New York's gotten divorced.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I always said, I mean, I don't think it's responsible when you have at the time when we started talking, she was 13.
Yes.
A 13-year-old daughter who's a 7th grader.
Very impressionable
age.
That's
right. And so I feel like I think that we have to know who we are, all that to
Yeah.
say, right? We have to know, because for some people it's fine and it works for them and it's great and I admire them and I have friends on the show, right?
Right.
But I do think that it's one of those things that if we know ourselves, and I'm sure that's something that you tell people all the time, right? Your clients.
Well, I said it this morning on a
gotta
call.
know
I
who
said,
you
know
are.
thyself. I'm a Tony Robbins, you know, I've been following him for a long time, and he says, know thyself.
Absolutely.
And that is the biggest compliment I do get from women is they're like, I wouldn't have known who you were. A lot of my clients, a woman came up to me yesterday in Target, and I had a headscarf on, and she recognized, because I had a mask on, and she said, I just want you to know that I was introduced to you on the show, but I still follow you, and I love your inspiration every single day. I know that I can go to your Instagram or whatever, anything on social media, and I'm going to get a little uplifting. And it was like those God moments that you're like in the middle of Target and God reminds you to, hey, keep going.
Well, it's so funny that you
I
say that, because there are so many times when I tell my team, I'm like, I don't think anyone wants to see another picture of me, right? Like, but they're always like, no, those are the
You're
ones
the face.
That's
You
what-
are the Kathy Fielder.
And
I
then
am the Tiffany Hendra brand.
That's right. And then I have people say to me, thank you for saying that. I needed to hear that today. I really appreciate you sharing that, those sorts of things. And so I think it's a great reminder that everybody, especially now, needs this positive voice and moving forward and figuring out what's next for all of us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so for you, what's next? Are you more of the same?
More of the same. And
Ever evolving? You said you've started.
ever evolving. I am the type that if I get stagnant, if I feel that itch, I feel
I feel a little trapped.
Yes,
Yeah.
because freedom is my core value that if I feel trapped in a relationship, trapped in a business, anything, if I don't feel free to be me, free to expand, free to go in. I remember not understanding what it was to be an introverted extrovert.
Right.
And my friends were like, oh, you've got to be alone and you're such a diva. And I'm like, do y'all realize, like, I really
need
want to
your
hang out with you, but I
time.
need it. So like all of those.
I'm the same.
Those being self-aware and understanding. So for me it is, as I grow and keep walking fully in my destiny, I truly hope to inspire other women to do the same. And so there's been this beautiful shift with what we were going through of the more and more I am me and starting the headscarf line. And they're like, okay, well now you're doing this and you're also a Rock the Camera, you've got this brand, and I help women use their voice and share their message with the world. But I love fashion.
Sure.
And I still love modeling. I'm wearing a Kathy Fielder outfit today. You know what I mean?
Adorable.
So being an influencer for other brands and doing all the things, that is what lights me up. And if you took it
Absolutely.
away, I wouldn't feel free.
Oh, now more than ever, I think it's just so important that we empower each other and support each other and support each other's brands. I think it's at an all-time
Absolutely.
high. And so tell me, you're so gorgeous.
Thank you.
You know, I will be 47 in September, which I never thought I would be over 45, right?
No, and in my mind, I feel 27-ish.
Yes. I mean, and I do think 40s are the new 30 or 20, right? I really do. But tell me what you do. You were just talking about your beauty regimen in the morning. Tell me how you stay so pretty.
You're so kind to say that, because I'm going to be 49 in 2 weeks. Wow. And so
Isn't it hard to believe?
it's crazy, because you think of half a century and I'm
you're
going
like,
to
how
be
could I-
50 next year.
Yes.
And in my mind,
We're going to have a really good party.
I know, I'm already like, are we going to Mexico? Are we going to go to, you know what I mean?
Hopefully,
Like
fingers
girls
crossed.
trip. So I feel like I'm just getting started, which is really insane, because I'm like a cat. I've had so many careers. I've had successful careers. And now, like, really stepping into purpose, really understanding this idea of being multi-passionate entrepreneur, and really, and as I embody and live that, empowering other women to do the same thing. And as they're watching you, as they're watching me, as they're watching, and they're
They go,
like,
I can do
this
it.
too.
I can do it. Well,
And
I feel
that
like
to me is the best empowerment, because we're not preaching at you and saying you need to do this, but it's like our beingness and giving ourselves permission to do what we want to do is when you shine. That's why I tell women, I'm like, what lights you up? That is how you can heal the world.
Absolutely.
If you are lit up and you are excited about what you're doing,
then everyone else will follow you.
Yes, and the world vibrates. The world, that's what God created us to do. Absolutely. This oppressive feeling, and you can only do this, and put yourself in a box, and sit down and be quiet, and oh, I'm only going to do this because my husband, and this and that, blah blah blah. No, especially now more than ever. The thing that I loved seeing women that would get on the phone with me when I offered the free calls, or what my coaching clients are going through, or my girlfriends, we're all having these conversations. Is this, I know we use the word pivot, which is like, we go, but to me, it's radical shift.
Yes.
It's like, you know what? Right now, like, people are getting divorced. We've seen some really high-profile divorces are going to be taking place here in Dallas, and women are like, you know what? I don't like my life, and I have been going along on this hamster wheel, and I'm doing a radical shift because
now we know we can. There was this major.
I get so fired up about it.
Sure, no, it's wonderful to see. I mean, I know that I've streamlined my life to be exactly what I want it to be right now, and it's so exciting.
It's very exciting.
I've gotten rid of the fear that was oppressing me, that I was being told I should have.
Exactly. Yes.
I was being told, and so now I'm like,
and that's what empowerment is.
That's right.
You have empowered yourself instead of them empowering you.
That's right.
You have empowered yourself and saying, no, it's everything.
It is everything, and I think I'm grateful for it. Tell me the thing you're most grateful for that has come out of COVID.
I have this, there's so many things. There's so many things to appreciate on a deeper level. Appreciating my Botox lady and my nail lash lady on a deeper level. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, but let's be real. But just a deeper appreciation.
I mean, look at my nails, they're not even done.
You haven't gone to manicures?
I haven't yet. I've done it all. I've done it, but I actually hate going.
I know, I do too.
So, I mean, nothing against all you awesome mani-pedi ladies, but I
had a paid collab where I was holding products. I had to get my nails done.
Well, I know. Yeah. I do them myself.
Yeah, and I tried that. I looked like a 5-year-old. I was like, okay. But the appreciation, I mean, I've lived in a state of appreciation for a while now. Gratitude is everything. But the deeper appreciation, for instance, my husband, his whole family lives in Australia. He Skypes with them every week. They pray together. They're this beautiful family. And it took this happening for my family. My parents are in Houston. My sister's in LA.
To reunite a little bit.
To get on, now FaceTime, you can do the group. And it was the first time we actually did that and prayed together. And I was like, why did it take this happening for us to connect in this way? So this deeper appreciation, just overall in general, deeper appreciation for my girlfriends, having my best friends show up and leave little care packages and just text and say, hey, I wish I could hug you, but there's a little care package. And then, making a big pot of soup and taking over to their house, and the little things to show appreciation.
We didn't have time for.
No, or we didn't make time.
That's right, because we didn't understand how to.
Yeah.
And now I think there's a new understanding of how to spend time and how to spend it doing things that you love.
Yes.
And being more engaged with smaller groups of people, or just one-on-one engagement that we weren't experiencing before.
No, and it's the appreciation when you show appreciation in life, when you live and resonate in that state of appreciation. That is really a beautiful state to live in.
It really is.
You can intermingle gratitude and appreciation, but it's like we took so much for granted before.
I can't tell you how many times during quarantine that I just said, God, I'm so grateful. Thank you for what I have and my family, and for where we live, and just all of these precious gifts that I have that I needed to really see. Now, don't get me wrong. There were moments when I was like, if I don't get my family out of here, I'm going to go, right?
Oh, yeah.
Homeschooling a child was probably.
I can't even. I have a whole new appreciation for mothers, and I told women that regularly on social media because I don't have kids.
As we go into this school year, right? For your clients, women, all of these people, they don't want to, they just want to be happy, and the more pushing, we have this idea of what it's supposed to look like, and we push, or as I think we need to look at the kid as a whole and realize that this is a different time for them.
Yes, it is.
And they need to work at their pace.
Yes,
not at what you deem.
And the word surrender is coming to me right now. You know what I mean? We all have to do what we have to do, and but being so structured and regimented, and the word surrender is.
I surrendered. At the last 2 weeks of school, I just said, you know what? I'm just going to let this be. And guess what? The whole family got so much happier. Right? I've so enjoyed talking with you today.
I know, me too. These are the conversations that need to happen.
They need to happen, and your message is actually so in line with mine. Empowerment, positivity, you can. More of you can and less of you can't, right?
And do what you want.
That's right.
I love, if anyone watching this really has the takeaway of getting quiet with yourself, and that's the one thing that COVID did for some people, is say, hey, you know what, you're forced to sit with yourself and ask yourself, what do you really want?
What do I want?
What do I really want? How do I want life to really look?
You know,
So it doesn't take a COVID. It doesn't take, I hit rock bottom, and it took me hitting almost dying for that to happen, for me to like really take inventory of myself emotionally, take an emotional inventory. So it sounds like we are on that path, and we want other women to constantly check in. Like, is this what I really want?
Well, and
don't let 30 years go by. Is this what I really want?
Is this what I really want? Is this where I really want to be? And and more importantly, where do I want to go?
Exactly.
Who was it that said you'll regret the things that you don't do much more than the things that you actually do?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what we're really trying to tell.
Yeah. So forget what other people think. That's with my clients that are wanting to do on camera and share their message, their business is, those days are over. There's no more time to waste worrying what other people think.
Absolutely.
So do what you love, stay lit up, and you're going to inspire other people that are watching to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, my dear friend, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I had the best time talking with you.
Likewise.
Thank you for joining us on the Fielder Report today. Don't forget to check the Fielder Report out on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Stay well.